Okay, hold on. Stop scrolling. Real estate bull trap market. I know that this person saying it to me through this lens is right, but I'm gonna deny it. And this is a classical textbook example. You can see it right there. I will share it on a big screen. You'll be able to see it clearly. I just have this note so we can kind of go through it. But having said that, why is that happening? I mean, for so many years, real estate was the place to go. And I'm not disagreeing. But now, when the greed period and the delusion period is over, what is happening right now? So I would love to get into that. And on my channel here, I showed so many examples. People losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. In one of my latest videos, I showed you that somebody lost $1 million within the two calendar year, right? So why? They bought the property for $3.1 million. They sold it for $2.1 million 2 years later. So what is happening? And I don't even want to calculate the commissions on top of that, the transfers, taxes, and what it took for them to hold on to this property in order to keep those lights on, mortgage payments, etc. So let's get into the classical example of real estate bull trap market. All right, so as I mentioned, right, like we went through certain periods and we can argue real estate is good or bad. However, on this graph, you can see that from the year 2000, we are seeing that the actual real estate market was taken off in North America, Canada, and even in the United States. Yes, there were some blips, there were some cycles, and we have seen a big, huge drop in 2008 when it came to United States. But us here in Canada, we were pushing strong, eh? So now we get to the point where we get into the greed factor, right? So the greed factor, in my opinion, was after the, like all the marketing factors, right? Like if we look at the years of 2015, 16, and 17, right? Like those were the marketing years. Home Depot, Rona, Lowe's, you name it. Like everybody was trying to market everything that was geared towards real estate. And real estate was booming, right? And then we got into the greed factor and all of that stuff. So yes, we're talking what has been happening, and there's a reason for it. It's not that you don't know about these things. I mean, you probably lived through these things. However, like this is a build up, and it takes years to build up a bubble or to build up a situation. Now, when we passed greed and delusion, and when I say delusion, the perfect example of that is this particular person buying a property in 2022 for $3.1 million in Halton Hills, which is 1 hour from Toronto. Fine. Beautiful, stunning, large lot, driveway, circular, all of that. However, what are you hoping for? So it's that delusion. You are hoping that that property will only go up. And then 2 years later, you sell it for $2.1 million and you're questioning everything and everyone. Well, hold on a second. You made that move. You were delusional. I'm sure your neighbors told you or somebody told you. I'm sure you watched some of these videos. Like I keep alarming or stating or blaring into this lens for months, for years, right? I'm not an expert, but sometimes you read through the lines. You see it from the experience. Whatever you're reading is what has happened on the graph before. I'm in the trenches. Like we see the data today. I see it. I feel how people are negotiating today. I felt how people were negotiating back then. Huge difference. Understood, right? But what is happening now, right? So we had high interest rates and the market obviously slipped a little bit, right? And everybody, including the investors and all of that stuff, were hunting one thing, and that is the bottom. Where is the bottom? Why? Simple. They want to make money. It's all about profits, right? I want to catch the bottom, have that profit, and then the market will go up, and then obviously benefit from the cycle or whatever. Fair, I agree. Now, as the market is shifting down, and we have seen that impact where bank interest rates were kind of flat for a while, and then they kept going down and stuff like that. So the automatic response for someone who is either looking in the market is like, look, this is the bottom, it's only going up from here. However, that's not the only measurement. There's so many other things like unemployment, mortgage renewals, right? We're talking hundreds of thousands of mortgage renewals in Canada. We're talking high prices. We are way over inflated and way overpriced in Canada. Way out of reach, out of proportion, right? And this is where these investors they get tickled by that interest rate, which is fair. That obviously one follows the other, but this is that exact bull trap. What I'm talking about right here, it's the bull trap, exactly right there. So after the bull trap, we are thinking we're getting back to normal. Okay, this is perfect. The market is stabilizing, and you can hear it on the news, portals, some YouTube channels, videos, social media. Now it's the time and all that stuff. Could be the time for you. I don't know. Make the decision on your own. However, it could also be a bull trap. So I believe we're past that. We're past the normal market. And now we're getting into the fear, right? So right after that, it's fear. So we're getting into the fear. So the fear is like, I'm not giving in, but I'm not going to say anything, but I know that this person saying it to me through this lens is right, but I'm going to deny it because I fear the fact that, I'm in trouble, right? And the only reason why it's still moving forward, because people are dipping into more debt. They're allowed to dip. They have the chance to dip into more debt. And it's fine. As long as you have a source, you can have that extra, right? You'll be fine. Of course, on paper, you look great. However, the reality, you're just digging yourself a huge hole. Now, what happens after this? And we see some people, as I mentioned, I did many videos, many examples all across Toronto GTA, and it's called being stuck in a particular situation. So what does the situation look like? Well, it's very simple. I don't have any other sources to borrow and to keep my lights on, and the only way I can solve this is to sell it. So obviously, now when you're in this market, the sale doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't even happen in a week. It takes a long time. So you're stuck and you're burning your candle from both sides, right? So it's burning pretty quickly. So it's burning and you have no other resources. So obviously, in some severe situations, boom, slash the price, cut the price, be more competitive, right? So you're stuck. There's nothing you can do. And then we get to another phase. It's called the surrender phase, right? And the surrender phase is being like, okay, I'm throwing in the towel. I don't care. Do whatever you want to me. Everybody is at fault, and I'm out. Just take the house, foreclose it, throw it in the garbage, whatever you want to do with it. Just I don't want the pain anymore. I know I have to deal with the consequences. I just want out, please. I want out, and I will never invest in my life. Whatever, right? So maybe it could be that situation. Boom. That's the surrender phase. So what happens after that? then it keeps going for a long time. And it, how am I going to say it? It is very interesting for me to see that people still believe, I don't know from where, but they still believe that we will have a strong, prosperous, beautiful 2025 and 2026. And I do want to believe you. Save us all. Please, all of you, save us. How? Right? We're going into probably a huge recession. Tariffs, I don't know how that will impact. We could argue it will impact it like this or like that. But unemployment is rising. It is hard. Like if you ever got fired recently, to find an equivalent job with equivalent pay, next to impossible. So let me give you an example. You're making $50 an hour. Great. You get fired. Try to find a job that pays you $50 an hour in the same field or another field. Impossible. Right? I speak to these people. It is impossible. Yes, you might have to settle down for $23 an hour and $27 an hour. Get a huge haircut of $23 an hour. Yes, you still have a job, but can you sustain yourself? That's the catch. That's the question. And now, all these people, and we're talking hundreds of thousands of people, it's mind-boggling, right? Like I speak to clients and sellers and other people and colleagues in real estate, and when I bring data and when I say, look, this property sold at this price and we are here, so we need to adjust, we need to stay ahead of the curve. A typical answer, a 10 out of 10, like I know what I'm going to hear is, well, they had to sell and I don't have to. It doesn't matter. They had to sell. They got a haircut. Fine. They lowered the price. They got rid of it. But it's affecting you directly because it's on the same street, in the same tower, however, right? So it's affecting you directly. Yeah, you can say, they're in trouble. I'm not. Well, maybe you will get into that trouble, or maybe you will never get into that trouble, which I'm hoping, to be honest with you. However, the price will be adjusted on your list price. It's just how it works. And like, remember when the prices were going up like that? Same thing happened. Your property is valued at $1 million. Your neighbor sells for 1.1. Guess what you're gonna tell me? Well, they were just lucky and they got $100,000 more. No, you're gonna tell me, please, let's increase it by 300,000. And on. You get the point, right? So I believe that is going to take a long time from 2022, which was the peak in March. We have seen this drop. Then we have seen the bull go up a little bit. And then it's going to the fear and being stuck mode and I don't care mode, whatever. And I think by the time we see peak to peak kind of thing, it might take even till 2030. Who knows? Maybe even longer. I mean, at the end of the day, what do I know? But I know enough to see through the cloud a little bit, right? And you can see it around you. You don't have to believe me. You see what is happening, right? So I hope you gain something out of this video. If you think that somebody would also have the value to see a video like this, please share it right now. Like it, subscribe, watch all the other videos on my channel if you like, and I will see you in the next one.